Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and we're back to equality cages today with equality candy. Now, if you have a name called equality candy, of course you're going to be selling candy. You'll get the reference for the blue, green, yellow, and red colors in a second, with an equality symbol of some sort on it. In this case, a pair of scales. Pair of scales, just as scales. And for one reason or another, I guess Sleuth is confirming that they are indeed equality, and inspecting them very closely. Who knows why? Now, I was actually expecting to be doing and solving a Wendoku puzzle, and I actually chose deliberately, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, not to do the Wendoku puzzle from Sir Moose to be able to do one today with gUBBLOR. But when I was going through the equality cages puzzles, there were 3 of them I think that were still haven't solved. gUBBLOR, if you're watching, please let me know if I've got that right or wrong, and if there are others that I am missing. And I came across kind of the latest one, which is Equality Candy. We've played a very similar style puzzle before with Candy Cross, and there's a few others that gUBBLOR has referenced, where essentially we have almost like smarty colored crop dots that we have to determine its rule set. Now, it feels like it's going to be a tough puzzle for a Sunday evening. I'm hoping it isn't. Hasn't got enough plays to get a community rating, but gUBBLOR has given it a 2-star himself. So, on to Equality Candy. That's enough of an introduction, and fingers crossed we're on for a smooth solve for a Sunday night. With Equality Cages 134, Equality Candy by gUBBLOR, and not a huge amount to say other than obviously, the candy-coloured crop dots that we've got all over. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Nothing unusual there. Equality cages, of course. Cages must have an equal number of low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4. High digits, 6, 7, 8, 9. It also has to have an equal number of even digits, such as 2, 4, 6, or 8. Or an odd digits, 1, 3, 7, or 9. How did I manage to say 7 and 9 and type in 6 and 8? So that would be a valid set of pencil marks for this equality cage. Equality cages can never contain 5s, and digits may not repeat in a cage. So useful for cages such as these that straddle, boxes, columns, and rows. What else do we have? The rest of it is just all about ambiguity dots. So there are dots of 4 different colors. Blue, green, yellow, red. And 4 different constraints. It's up to the solver, that's us, to deduce which color is paired with which constraint. Each color has only 1 constraint it identifies with, but dots are allowed to act as more than 1 constraint. So I imagine, for example, the usual thing is that 1-2 pair could be both connected with a white dot or a black crop dot. So I can see how a dot could act as multiple things, but it really only ever means one thing. What else does it say? Each color has only 1 constraint. I've said that. There are no negative constraints. Okay. And the dots could be any of these 4 rules. So X, so adjacent cells connected with an X must sum up to 10. So let's assume yellow is the X, so that would mean if this is 2, this would be 8, to make sure that they do add up to 10. We have V's. Shall we pick, blues as V's? So if this cell is a 2, this would be 3 to make sure that these 2 cells add up to 5. Black crop dots, we're starting to run out of things. So if you imagine that green is a black crop dot, essentially if this cell is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 so that they are in a 2-to-1 ratio. And then last but not least, we've got white crop dots, so that's red in this case. And essentially, if this is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 so that they are indeed consecutive. And we're going to have a lot of fun, I can see, trying to determine which is which here. So, as always, if you want to give this a go, if you want to visit the candy shop, pick a bunch of different colored candies and sort them all out and figure out what their flavor and rules are, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. I'm just taking it all in. And I'm trying to like almost ascertain what's interesting and valuable to see if we can get a break in. So there's a bunch of cages that are catching my attention more than others. First ones are these two. And they're interesting because they're fully contained, as in all the cells inside the cage belong on one of the dots. So that's interesting. Sorry, I should be thinking out loud. Well, right now I'm thinking about lows and highs. And I'm thinking about lows and highs because we have to have an equal number of lows and an equal number of highs. Now, x's, so let's go through this systematically. X's have to have a low and a high. Black crop dots could be kind of a double low or a low and high. Let me just represent the options in a single cell. Then we have white crop dots, which could be either low or it could be high. It's never going to be a mixture of both because otherwise we'd have to go through the 5, and obviously equality cages can never contain 5. Then the last one, which I think is what's quite interesting, is the V, which is always and exclusively low. So this is useful because you see, essentially, one of these has to be all lows. And if it's all lows, it immediately excludes the black crop dot, it immediately excludes the X. It has to be paired up with a white crop dot. So V and W always have to go together. Now the others are kind of less interesting in the sense that X, well, not necessarily less interesting because the X is always a high and low, V is always low, W is always the same polarity, so X always goes with B. Right. And then the kind of slightly flexible one, if at all, is the black crop dot. I mean, white crop dots are flexible in that they could be either or. But the thing is, with white crop dots, they always have to be paired up with either a V or an X. Sorry, whoa. White crop dots are always going to have to be, they can never be paired up with X. So X is always with B, V is always with white. Okay. Right. So coming back to these cages, so essentially one of these is a V white crop dot pair, and the other one is a BX pair. And I can tell you that the V, which one did I say always has to be paired? The X. So the V and the X are the more restrictive ones in that it's always with W or the X is always with B. Now notice immediately that the blue and the red are actually quite happy coexisting with one another. So they can't be V or X. Is it X? Yes. If either of them, if this is V, well, this immediately would be W, and then this would be W, and then this would be V, and then I'm in trouble because that can't be also a white crop dot pair. Right? And reverse is true. So blue and red are never V. They're, for this exact same logic, they're never X. Because if this is X, this was BX, and then both green and red would be black crop dots, and they can't be. Right. So this is yellow and green are essentially either V or B's. Sorry, X's. And white and black crop dots are in the red or blue. White and black. And we're going to have to try and figure out which one is V because it will force a bunch of things in a second. Now, interestingly, no, we're definitely going to have to rule. Essentially, what I was going to go with is because the white crop dot is always made up of odd and even, and in this case, because it will be joining, let's say, a black crop dot up here. So these are, remember, like BW. not DRS. So one is black, one is white. And essentially one will have to be 1, 2, because it's the only two low crop key dots, black valid crop key dots, that are both a mixture of low and even. So if you think about the options for black crop key dots, 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8. If I have white crop key dots, can't use 3, 6 or 4, 8. And the white crop key dot, the nature is it will both be different parities. So the 2, 4 won't work. I can't have 7 and 9 on a white crop key dot as a pair. So it will have to be 1, 2. Right. Long story short, at least we've limited the options. The question is, how do I limit it further and actually figure out which one of these is V and which one of these is X? So let's try something. Let's assume yellow is the V. So that would end up being the blue pair. And again, you've seen this many times in XV solves from me. To add up to 5 is either 1, 4 or 2, 3. So I don't know which one it is, but let's just say it's blue. And now it's staring at a yellow pair in here, and they would have to be the opposite pair. If this is 1, 4, that can't be 1, 4. I'd end up with 3 of them in row 6. So this would have to be a different one. And this would have to be, let's say, the 2, 3. Yeah, not for you. And this would have to be green. This would have to be blue, because obviously, you know, you can see 2 greens in box 3. These would be blue. And I've colored all the other ones, and I'm not spotting a contradiction. I'm really hoping we can find one. The X always is made up of a low and high digit. I've used 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. So this would be another X green. Green now won't be in any of these, won't be here because I've got 2 of them in row 6. They would both be green. I'm genuinely not seeing where this is breaking, by the way. Red, by the way, just for avoidance of doubt, is high digits. If it's V, this would be a white crop key dot. These would be highs then, so that these could be low. Let's just try that. I'm worried about how much I'm able to solve without it contradicting. We may have to go back in a second and check whether it's green. These would have to be highs. There you go. Here's where it breaks. Right. I went on a bit of a tour of kind of the whole grid, but really the essence was in here and here. Right. So once this is a V, once yellow is V, red has to be white crop key dot, which means green is X and blue is a black crop key dot. Now you can see how if this is V, these are, let's we color them at random. This is blue, this is green. I've already used 2 low digits, 3 low digits. Now the 4th one is in here. Here is a tricky bit. The black crop key dot needs to be made up of at least 1 low digit. And the 1 low digit is not in here because these are 2 low digits. These have to be 2 high digits. This will be a 5th low digit in row 6 and it breaks. So we have, like I'm not going to call that a break-in, but we have a confirmation of which is which. Pretty sure I just corrected the colors, but anyway. So the V is green, and therefore blue is the white crop key dot, yeah. Then yellow is the X, and therefore red is the black crop key dot. Right, let's just keep this going for a second because you can see I can actually start to pencil mark digits, like incredible. We're still nowhere near like actually writing in a number, but we've got almost a break-in now. In that we know that these are a 1-2 pair, per my description earlier. This is low and high. In fact, I actually also know that this is going to be 4 and 8. Right, so X's, the way to think about them is they're always a mixture of low and high, but they're always the same parity. Whenever it comes to black crop key dots, because you're multiplying by 2, there will always be at least 1 even digit, if not 2. So let's just go back to the example earlier of all the possibilities. 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8. Now, I know that these two are a mixture of low and high, so I need a low and high to have a balanced equality cage. So 1 and 2 and 2, 4 are gone. But these two are of the same parity because, you know, it's essentially 1, 9 or 3, 7, and it has to be odd because I have even digits in here, and it's got to be 4, 8. And these have to be odd. These are x's again. Am I going to do this? I'm going to just quickly go around and remind myself what all of them are so I don't have to think about it. Just everything's labeled. That wasn't B, that was white. Yeah, white. This is white. That's useful. That is a low digit. And this is white. Right. Because these are V's, these are low. And with a white crop Q dot, remember, I can't cross the 5 inequality cages. This has to be a low digit as well. So this is another low digit. I'm actually going to color these blue. And because this is blue, this will be green. This is green. This will be blue. This has to be a blue-red pair. And it's the odd blue-red pair. This is the even blue-red pair. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 digits now in row 6 low digits. So this has to be high. This is a low digit. I don't know if it's blue or green. I am going to stick with blue and green for a bit. All I know is it's not 1, 2, it's 3, 4. And therefore this would be 6, 7. How do I get to actual digits from here? I'm really not sure. I can't determine the colors of these. No, because if essentially, let's say this is 2, 3, 7, 8, nothing stops this from being the 2, 8, and this is the 3, 7, and this is the 1, 4. So it really isn't very useful. This is high. I'd love to know the color of these two. Of course, this is high. This is high. And up here, again, we've got 3, 4, 6, 7. And therefore, this is another 3, 4, 6, 7. Whatever this cell is, it's not in the equality cage and it's not in the same column, Sudoku and the rule sets. So this cell is either in here or in there. And the thing is, 3, 7 could very well be there, and 4 could very well be there. So I'm not sure I can actually rule out anything. I could potentially rule out the 6, because I know that the 6 is not here, and the 6 is not part of this odd 1, 9, 3, 7 pair. In fact, I may as well just, so I don't have to keep repeating it. And therefore that can't be 6 because it's not here, it's not there, it's one of these digits. So it's either 1, 3, 7, 9 or 4, 8. So 6 is gone. What a massive deduction. And therefore this is not 4. And 4 would have to pair up with a 7 in here. No, what am I saying? This is not an X. Yes, this is an X, but the rest of the equality cage isn't. And I don't know which one. Right. Ignore it. So there is a 3 or 4 in here, but it's not 3, 4, 6, 7. These are not adding up to 10. This is high. These are obviously high. This is a mixture of blue and green. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something with this. I need to determine what this is. And I probably can with the equality cage. In a way, if I remove some of these colors. Right, so remember, these two are adding up to 10. So they're the same parity. And they're either both odd or they're both even. Now, these two have to be of the opposite parity. So if this is 3, this is 2 or 4. If this is 4, this is 1 or 3. The challenge is I'm not seeing how... Let's try this. Let's remove the 4, 6 option for a second and just study this 3, 7 option. So this would have to be 2 or 4, and this is a white crop q dot, and it's low, it would have to be 1 or 3, but it can't be 3, it would have to be 1. Interesting. And because it's 1, that couldn't be 4, it would have to be 2. Interesting again. Now let's try the other extreme. If this is 4, this would be 1 or 3. And they're both either connected to 2 or 4, but it's not 4 because it's already in the box. It would have to be 2. And then 1, 2, and 3 are all valid, unfortunately. But it can't be the same. It's not the same digit. If this is 4, I can have 1 or 3. If this is 3, it's definitely 2. So I can't actually even color them relative to one another. That is a shame. We do know that these two cells add up to 5, so they're the same color, and this is 2, 3, 4, to add up to 5. But the fact that I can't get the parity down is really not helping. I need to figure out how to limit it further somehow. So this is 1, that's 2, 3, and it breaks. Wow, that is very hard to see here. No, sorry. If this is 1, this would be 2, 3. Yes, it does break, because essentially these two have to add up to 5, and 1, 4 is now discounted. So if this is 2 and 3, well, 1 and 3 now are gone. It breaks this x, which needs to be odd. So this, our first digit, minute 18, that's a 2. That unfortunately doesn't tell us whether it's 1 or 3. Just tells us it's a 2. That being odd though, because these two are the same parity, and that's odd, that would be odd. And these two have to be even. This is 4, 6. And the 2 in here tells us this is 1, 4 now, and therefore this is not 1, 9. This is 3, 7. Don't need the x anymore. This 4 has given me an 8 and a 4. Suddenly we're getting digits. This 2 has to be 7 or 9. Well, it's not 7. It would have to be 9. This 2 is 1 or 3. This would be 2 or 4. And this would have to be 7 or 9. That's 7. And because that's 7, that's 9. These are now 5, 8. One, 2, and 4, and 6. This is 3 or 8. Just being a black crop q dot, we've literally crossed out all of the others. If that's 3, that's 6. If that's 8, that's 4. Three, 7. Let's think about these now. I still don't know the colorations of this. Such a word exists. No. The only thing I do know is this is not 3, 7. That's literally all I know at this point. I mean, I need to be able to do better. So the high digit that's in here is not 9 or 7. It is 6, 8, which is even, and therefore the low digit has to be odd. And from the 3, 4 option, it's 3. So this is 3, 6, 8 with a definite 3. I can also remove this B now. I don't need it. I can remove these. This is a 2-3 pair. Tells me almost certainly that this is 1-4-8 because it's not 1-2, it's not 2-4, it's not 3-6. So this is 4-8, which would actually give me more digits. I'm all good with more digits, please. 2-3 in here, that's, yeah, too ambiguous. There's too many options. 8 here is very useful though. Essentially, the box is left with the following high digits, 6, 7, and 9. Which one of these 3 can actually be on a white crop key dot? 6, 7. Which gives me a 9 in here, because it's the last remaining high digit, and therefore a 2 in here because it needs to be even. And these, well, I said these 2, but it's actually 3 digits are remaining. Whoops. 1, 5, and 3. So 1, 3, 5. Got all excited when it was a pair for a second, and oh, that 2 gave me a 1 and another 2, and therefore this is not 1. This is now blue. Not that it matters anymore at this point. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. We'll stick to it for a while longer. And to add up to 10 in here is either, it can't be 2 anymore. This would be 2, 8 if this is 2. So that's not 8. If it's 6, this would have to be 4, which works. Remember, this cell has to be inside one of these 4. If it's 3, it would have to be 7, which still works because it would be in here. Now, if it's 3, it would be 6 or 8. If this is 6, this would be 3. So I haven't reduced the options in here, really. Fascinating puzzle so far. White crop key dot, yeah, it could be anything. 4 and 8 are not actually helpful. We probably should think about this equality cage next. Or actually, without the 9, this is 6, 7, 8 with a definite 7 so that they are connected. And the 7 can't be in here. So that's the 7. This is the 6, 8. We've almost used all the variant rules. And it's scary how much of the puzzle is still left. 7 still works with 2 and 4. And 9, this doesn't look right. Why did I put 9 in here? No, it is right. Because the 1-3 pair is with the 6 and the 4 is with the 9. Excuse me, I confused myself there for a second. One of these two is 7. 7, not 8. Right, so everything is pulling me towards this corner now of the grid, and we need to really do something about this. Eight gave me 5, gave me 8. Come on, sleuth. Right, so let's think about the remaining digits. I have 1, 2, 6, and 9. I'm just going to pencil mark them all for a second. Now, if this is 4, the 1 and 2 would have to be in here. No, if this is 7, they would have to have 1 and 2 and 6. So 9 is not really an option, I don't think, in this cage, is it? Right, so options for the cage. If it's a 7, I need another, and I need 2 low digits in here. 4 and 3 are gone, so it'd have to be 1 and 2. And then to make it all balance according to the equality cages, remember the 8 is not available to counter the 1, it would have to be 6. So this is one option if this is 7. If it's 4, well, I don't need 1 and 2, I'd only need one of them. I couldn't do the 2 because it'll be 4, 2, and 6, 9, which doesn't work. 2, 4 would have to be with 7, 9, and the 7 is not an option. So it'd have to be 1, 4, and 6, 9. So essentially this is either in this scenario, that's a 4 at the top, 169. And this would be 2. And in this scenario, the 7 would be at the top, and this would be 126. And what would this digit be? Oh, sorry, I'm losing track. The 9. So the 1 and the 6 are always in here. This is 2 or 9. Interesting. How's that helping me? So this is not 3, 7. So let's think about options. Let me remove options for a second. So this is potentially 2, 8. And then the 2 wouldn't be in here. And this would be 1 and 4. So the 1 and 2 wouldn't be here. That doesn't work, does it? If this is not 1 or 2, well, this would have to be 1, this would have to be 4. And this would be 6, 9, 2, 8, 1, 4. Yeah, it works. Sad but true. Okay, so 2, 8 works. 1, 9. That feels very tricky now. So 1, 9. 1, 9 doesn't work. Yes, because it removes the 1 and 9 option from here. It leaves 2 and 6, and then 1 and 2 are gone. How am I going to make this this V work? So 1, 9 doesn't work because of that. 2, 8 works. 3, 7 doesn't. 4, 6 potentially does, but 4, 6, remember, places a 7 in here, and therefore this would have to be 1, 2, 6. And then the 6 would be here. This would be 1, 2, and then it would break the V. Easier shown than this is 4, 6. That's not 4. And therefore, this can't be this. I always need to have a 6 inside this cage, so that would be the 6. And then this would be 1, 2 to make it work with the 1, 2, 6, 7 option. And then this V doesn't work. So this is 2, 8. And therefore this is not a 2. It also means this is not 2, 3. This is 1, 4. And therefore no 1, but there's always a 1 inside the cage. That's the 1. The 6, 9 pair gives me a 2. And this has to be a low digit. It's got to be a 4. And then the X keeps giving me gifts with a 6 in here and a 3 there. No 3. The fact that I haven't resolved these two, though, is really, like, annoying me in a way. 3, 8, no. Let's clean this up. 4, 6, yeah, we know this. This is 4, this is 8. Excellent. This is still unknown. These are still unknown. These are kind of, we got what we need from them. Right, so the remaining digits are 3, 7, and 5. Other than this not being a 7, I don't think I have that many restrictions. Interesting. And we may as well do a bit of Sudoku now. Feels like we've come so far, but we've gotten so little. So 8s, 8s. This is an 8, just kind of Sudoku, literally removing every other cell. That's 8. It doesn't feel like there's a lot in terms of Sudoku to do. This column 4 maybe. We got 3, 5, and 7 again, is it? Looks that way. So this is 3 or 5. This is 5 or 7. And this is 5 or 7. It can't be a 3. The only place for a 3 in that column is in here, which gives me 1. and this needs to add up to 5, that's 4. So they ended up being the same, but I don't think it was forced by any means. And I guess the assumption is we've got enough to take it from here. Remember, we can have a a 5 on this, so it doesn't even have to be the same polarity anymore. And this 3, 5, 7, no, I didn't get anything for that. Rest of row 3 maybe. I need an 8 somewhere, it can only be in here. In fact, the 8 gave me 4 and 8. The 4 now can only be in here. This is 5 or 7, and it's not, hang on, no. It's not 5 or 7. What is this cell? I need a 9. Yes, it is 5 or 7. That's the 9. Because of this 9, that is not a 7. That is 5. That is 7. That is 5. 7 gave me 6 and 7. Then this is 3, 5, 7 by the looks of things to complete row 3. That 5 is not there. We end up with a combo that's not resolved still. We need another 1, 5 and a 6, I'm going to say. This is not the 1, 5, they're in the column. So that's the 1, 5. That's the 6. We're very close towards getting like a triple or quadruple, but not quite. So the only digits we're missing is a 9 up here now, with a 1 or 3. That's not 1. That's 3. That'd be 5 or 7. I mean, that would be 7. So that would be 5. That would be 1. That would be 9. That would be 7. So I mean, like, it's not a problem. But the white crop kit are surely starting to get a bit interesting now. Surely. The 7s in boxes 3 and 6, they line up in columns 8 and 9. That's not a 7. Yep. These are the 7s. That's not a 7. That's the 7. Now, I'm starting to feel like this has to be resolvable from here. So let's just think about it. With 1 and 4, one option is 2, 3, and it's got to be in this order because of this 3. I assume I have a 5, 6 option, and it feels like there's no real restrictions. 7 is out, 8 is out, and 9 is out because there's no 8. So almost again, but not quite. 2 is in one of these two cells then. Eight has to be in here, can only be there. There's essentially another 3, 5, 6 plus a 2, which can only be in here, and this is 5 or 6, it can't be a 3. Which places 3 in one of these two cells. Again, not enough. 2 is none of these, that's 2, 5, 6. Let's just carry on with Sudoku. That's 1. 3 is in here. 4, 5, 6. I need 7 and 8. Not. That's 7. That's 8. Then I have another 6, 9, and something else. 2. 2, 6 or 9. Not 6. 9, 6, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 5, 6, and 7. 6 and 7 are not here in the column. This can't be 7 either. That's 6. That's 7. This is 1, 3, or 5, and unfortunately all of which seem available. This is 3 or 5. It's actually 5 has given me 3, so that's huge. We'll use that in a second. 1 has given me 4 and 1. Neither of these are 3 now. This is a 5, 7 pair. That's 1. This is a 3, 9 pair. That's 1. That's 5. That 1 hasn't quite helped me the way I was thinking it would. 5, 7, 3, 7. Okay, not resolved. I suspect I can sort of press the logic on this a bit further. This is 3 or 9. It's not 3. That's 9. That's 3. That's 9. That's not 1 or 5. That's 3. So this is 5, 6, and 9. This is another 5, 6. It can't be 9. 6, not 8. That's 9. 5, 6 pair has given me 2, 3, 5, 7, 3, 7, 5, not 2, whatever is left in here, 6, 5, 6, 5, and if I've not made any mistakes, 6 for the finish. 23 solves. It absolutely deserves a lot more gUBBLOR. It's a fantastic puzzle. 2-star, barely. Some regrets right now about recording it for Sunday evening. But, 35-minute solve, yeah, probably is 2 stars. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. That was hard work. There was a lot of constant deductions, and my explanations probably weren't as lengthy as normal to try and keep the video of a reasonable length. Hopefully you guys were able to follow it. See you back for the next video. Bye-bye for now.